It says live.
Yeah. I know. Okay. Yeah. We are live. All right. So. Okay. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but that's what happens when you have such an amazing guest coming on the show. So we want to remind you in about 1 minute, we're going to be with John Shin, executive producer with Think and Grow Rich, the Think and Grow Rich Legacy Tour. This is Easy Talk Live on Roku. Are you ready to wake up the easy way? Guys, remember to post your comments below. And this is going to be an awesome show. So stay tuned. We'll be broadcasting in about a minute or two. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody pull your mobile phones out and put your hands together for the Easy Talk Live Show. It's time to stop doing it the hard way and start doing it the easy way. Now here's your host, Eric Easy. All right, everybody, welcome to Easy Talk Live. We're ready to wake up the easy way today. Want to remind everybody that this is a show on Roku on the Ezway network. Clearview Broadcasting on My TV to Go, Filipino American Network, Fan TV, Women on TV, Voice America, and so many others, DirecTV, Sony satellite receivers, and Facebook, as well as we are live on YouTube. So do me a favor and share this broadcast because this is going to be one incredible show. So as you know, we help you to digitally shake the hands of influencers and celebrities that make a difference and that you can learn from to grow and enhance your business and your situation. So without further ado, we're going to give a warm, easy way welcome to a legend, man. There's someone that really knows financial and is executive producer of the Think and Grow Rich tour. Without further ado, welcome to the show, John Shin.
What's up?
Can you do that, man? Do you know how to do that? Wow, that. Let me see you do your best. Wow, that.
What's up?
Well, awesome, John. I appreciate you being here, man. I know you're busy, and I know you have such an amazing tour happening right now. And I mean, you're the gentleman behind the Napoleon Hill Foundation, pretty much. I mean, you invested into that, and you have such a good heart. You're such an awesome entrepreneur. Read a lot about your story. And I see that you're really passionate about Filipino American veterans. And so I'm happy that, go ahead.
I'm actually passionate about all veterans, right? I mean, not just Filipino, but that was something we did in Vegas for the Filipino Americans. But I mean, I'm all about the veterans. So.
Well, it's awesome that that's the case because we actually own 160 acres of land and we aim to end veteran homelessness by 2025. So definitely,
I love it.
We can talk about. Want to collaborate with you on that. So this is Easy Talk Live, man. We're waking up the easy way with all our friends and family and your friends and family, and we're going to share this all over the place. It is live. So guys, as you're watching, you're welcome to ask questions. We apologize about the Facebook live difficulties, but hey, we make it happen with YouTube or whatever we got to do. So ask your questions. We got an amazing influencer here ready to give us some pretty awesome golden nuggets. So if you guys have questions, we're here in direct. So John, I mean, start out, man. If you don't mind, tell us your story from being a kid in grade school to growing now. We'll start with, it's always interesting to learn people's stories that are entrepreneurs and influencers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to try to keep it short because I'm probably could talk for hours and hours about my personal life. But I mean, basically, my parents immigrated to this country from Korea. And to be very specific, they came from South Korea, okay? And because I know people now watch the news and they know there's a difference between North and South. And so they came to the country, seeking the American dream. And their dream for them was not so much to have all the material things, the nice cars, the big homes, which there's nothing wrong with those kind of things. But for them, their dream was to send their kids to college and become a doctor and a lawyer. And so I did that, long story short, met my wife in law school. And then I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure if that's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, we went to law schools where we met. And then I was back in 1994. And about a year later in 95, we got into the financial industry. And then from there, our business exploded throughout the country where we have offices in 42 different states. And that's, kind of how it started. And then, of course, we got into some commercial real estate and we thought we were doing pretty well for ourselves. And then, we got asked to be interviewed by some magazines and they started asking us, what do we attribute our success to? And Arlene, my wife, basically said we attributed all of it, really. I mean, a lot of it's us and what we did with what we learned, but we learned most of the things from a book called Think and Grow Rich because we did not have mentors initially when we started to become entrepreneurs. So the book Think and Grow Rich has been a tremendous influence in our life. And we just wish and hope that every person on this planet will have an opportunity to read it or watch the movie or see it on, Netflix, or, get a DVD from Walmart.
I love that, man. So what, I've had a couple questions from some fans. What exactly is your total involvement in the whole Think and Grow Rich situation?
Yeah. So first of all, we got the rights from the Napoleon Hill Foundation to make a movie based on the original book written in 1937. So I'm the executive producer of the movie that came out in October of 2017. And then after we did that in October, October, November, and December, we did a very limited theatrical release. And then in January of 2018, what ended up happening was, a lot of our family and friends weren't able to see the movie, in a theater, or they were not invited to come to the world premiere. And so my wife and I, we got an earful from a lot of our family and friends. They said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you didn't invite us to, the world premiere." And we said, wait, we're going to make it up. I mean, it was business. We had to invite Netflix and all the Sony worldwide and on and on and on. And I said, but we're going to recreate the entire world premiere for our family and friends. And so we did that in January. And a friend of mine actually invited a friend who happened to be with a big network marketing company. And so that person watched the movie, and she was just in tears at the end of the movie. And she walked up to me and said, "Oh my God," she says, "is there any way that I can recreate this whole movie thing with the red carpet for my family and friends?" And I said, "We'd be happy to do something like that." And she said, "Well, how much would you charge?" And I said, "Just call my office and we'll get that going for you." And we did. And she packed in 2 movie theaters of 500 seats at the same theater. We had a 6 o'clock showing and a 7 o'clock showing. And she packed in, it was 1,000 people. And there were people coming out of the movie theaters, with all the red carpet and lighting and glitz. And they said, "What's going on? And who are all these people? And is that such and such on that red carpet?" And it was. And, certain celebrities came, and it was great. And after that, some lady at the end of the movie said, "Could you come to our national conference and speak for, 60 to 90 minutes? And then at the end of that, is there any way you can stick around and do photos and do some book signings?" And I said, "Sure." So I show up, I go to this event, and oh my God, they must have had 10,000 people there in the arena. And I went and spoke at it. And as I got off the stage and I came from the backstage, I came back around to the front, I got mobbed by people wanting pictures and autographs. And some people said, "What's the name of your book? You never mentioned the name of your book." And I said, "Oh, my book." I said, "You know what, give me your email." And I had a few people around me, and I said, "Get everybody's emails and business cards." And I came home, and Arlene said, "How did it go?" And I said, "Oh my God, it was amazing. I felt like a rock star, man. I mean, people wanted my autograph." And then she goes, "So what's next?" And I said, "Well, I need to write a book." And she's like, "A book?" And I said, "Yeah, I got to write a book." She says, "Why?" And I said, "Because I told everybody I'd send them a copy, and I don't have a book." And so that's how I started to write a book, and I had no idea what I was going to write about. So I called up the Napoleon Hill Foundation and talked to Don Green. And Don Green said, I asked Don Green if I can write the modern day version of Think and Grow Rich, because a friend of ours named Dr. Sosa, right? Lionel Sosa did a Latino version, Lionel Sosa. Dennis Kimbrough did a Black version of Think and Grow Rich. Sharon Lecter did Think and Grow Rich for women. And I actually wrote Think and Grow Rich for Asians, but it's not called Think and Grow Rich for Asians. It actually says How Rich Asians Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. So that's coming out in the first week of May, and which is going to be the launch of our tour. And so yeah, I'm the modern day author, I guess you could say that, so that's my ties to the foundation.
Yeah, and speaking of the tour, what we're going to do, guys, John, hang tight. I'm going to go ahead and go to your website and show everybody the video that you got. I mean, your marketing is pretty incredible. And so, guys, this is an amazing tour coming up, which is the Think and Grow Rich Legacy Tour that's happening at the Anaheim Convention Center, I believe May 3rd through the 4th. We're going to watch this quick promo, and then we'll come back with John Shin here on Easy Talk Live. We're waking up the easy way. Shout outs to John Ferrari, Kiss the Monkeys, all 12 people that are watching live right now. Again, we would have had more, but we had a little technical difficulties with Facebook, but we're rocking and rolling. They're starting to share. They're starting to come in. Shouts to Jason Span and Sophia Alvarez and Purpose Driven PR and everybody that's helped push this. You guys are awesome. We love you guys. So hang tight. This is the Think and Grow Rich tour. It's going to be awesome. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. There it is. So hey, I mean this looks pretty cool, but we're gonna get into the tour in a second. Obviously, you got some amazing people there, John. Mario Lopez, who's actually an acquaintance of mine, friend of mine. I've been with him on set a lot on an extra. Sharon Lecter, same thing, and Bill Walsh and James Dentley. I actually sit on the board with at the Speakers Coalition. Haven't met Kevin Harrington and all the other great guys. I was just with Greg Reed the other day, so it's really exciting. But I want to get back to your story. And, I wanted to get a little bit into the financial side of things, because you're very successful financially. You have a financial firm, right?
Yeah.
And
yes, I do.
So can you tell us a little bit about that and how it may be able to help our Ezway family? John, what we do is it's called the digital handshake effect. And we act as a catalyst for our Ezway family to be able to connect to people like yourself. And so, guys, this is the opportunity right now during the portion of the show to give you the ability to digitally connect. Go ahead and give them a pound, John. Give them a little digital fist, so they understand. Boom. Ask your questions, connect with John as he's explaining this. So, John, what's your financial firm and what's some golden nuggets you can give us to be a little bit more financially successful?
I mean, the most important thing, we talk about the 6 steps to financial security, and we can't get into the details of what someone should personally do. It's like a doctor. It's like a doctor trying to give a prescription over the phone without actually diagnosing somebody, right? So
you can't just take a pill and just be financially successful. Got it.
Yeah, exactly, right? But at the end of the day, there are 6 steps that I tell people to prepare for. One is obviously increasing their cash flow. A lot of people today, I think, certainly are not in a financial position to be chilling. We say that, a lot of people today, I think, are extremely casual on a daily basis. And I always say that casual people become casualties, right? Because they just are just too chill, and they have to realize that they can't rely on the government anymore to take care of their future. They can't rely on their employers. In fact, in the old days, the employers used to offer people something called a pension, and pensions are now something becoming extinct. And so it's important for people to realize that it's on you.
Oh, we're having a little bit of signal difficulty. Oh, there we go. You're back.
There we go. Yep.
Go ahead.
So yeah, it's important for you to start paying yourself first and securing your future. And every year counts. The difference between saving for 29 years or 30 years, in terms of a savings portfolio, could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's just 1 year, right? So, and that's the magic of compound interest. And so it's imperative that people start early, whether they're planning for their retirement, whether they're planning for their wedding. Maybe to buy a house in the future, their kids' bar mitzvah or a quinceañera or a sweet 16 party or what have you. And then number 2 is obviously to get rid of debt. And there's different programs available to get rid of debt as quickly as possible. 3 is to make sure they create an emergency fund. And it's imperative that people don't rely on credit cards as their emergency fund, because once they start using those credit cards as their emergency fund, that becomes the emergency itself. And so number 4 is to start preparing for your future. I call it long-term savings, which is what I just alluded to earlier. Number 5 is to do estate planning, and preserve your estate and make sure that you protect your assets from any kind of litigation and people that want to look at the short way or the short term of, trying to get money from people, And then lastly, and And that would be to make sure that you properly protect it with different type of insurance products, so you just never know, what kind of insurance you need. Nobody likes paying for insurance, but you'll love it once you have it. God forbid something actually were to happen to you.
Oh, we have our business insurance, and we have it's very important. So I definitely recommend you guys, if you don't have your business insurance, look for Hitchcock Insurance. They're amazing. So let's get into the speaking side of you. I mean, you're a world speaker. You go speak at a lot of places, and you're very valuable in the financial world, and you deal with a lot of influencers. And I know a lot of people would want to learn some golden nuggets from you as far as what you do on stage. And you're going to be actually on our stage on August 30th. Thank you for that.
Honored.
Being one of our keynote speakers at the EzwayAwards.com. By the way, guys, that's August 30th, Ezway Awards. This is Fan TV. Shout out to Fan TV Global Network. Manny Pacquiao supports them. Big Filipino American network. They're going to be syndicating this. We appreciate them. And so get your tickets at EzwayAwards.com. You'll see John Shin speaking, Brian Smith, myself. It's hosted by Retha Gray from NBC and Lifetime, and pretty established, amazing woman. And so make sure you get your tickets. So when you're on stage, John, and you have the opportunity, because I always say it's so important to seize whatever opportunity that you have. Make sure you create the ambiance. Make sure you're remembered. Make sure you're dressing a certain way. Make sure that you're positioning yourself to seize that opportunity as best as possible. What would you suggest, and what would be some good advice you could give our audience as far as the best way to seize their opportunity when they have the opportunity to be on stage?
Well, I think to be on stage, take every opportunity you can to. I'm assuming you're asking me from a speaker standpoint. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Everybody always looks at the Tony Robbins or the Les Browns of the world today, and a lot of these people did not start as a speaker, and they're that dynamic and that confident on stage. Everybody has to start somewhere, and I remember the first time I had to speak in front of 25 people, and I was terrified. And I thank God I was wearing a suit jacket, because underneath my suit jacket, I'm entirely
there goes that
drenched. Let's see here.
There we go. You're back.
Yeah. So it was completely drenched, and I was terrified, and I was reading the screen word for word, and over time, as I got better and better and better, I got more confident. So I tell everybody, take every opportunity to speak wherever you can. And here's the thing: whether you don't have to be super energetic and dynamic and veins popping out of your neck, that type of speaker. And there are those kind of speakers, but you don't have to be that person. The most important thing is for you to be authentic on stage and make sure that you're delivering, real content that people can apply. And as long as somebody's got a takeaway, where they have a how-to, I think people will be grateful that you actually shared something on stage. Because I think today, too many speakers, it's just a lot of rhetoric, a lot of rah-rah today. And I think most people are kind of over the rah-rah thing. They want to say, okay, I'm done. I am motivated. I am excited. That's why I'm here to watch you or whatever on stage. And I spent and invested a lot of money, time, and effort to be there. And so I tell people, to make sure that you just go out there and provide real content. Yeah, that's a huge crowd there.
This is you on stage with like 30,000 something people.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get to that point?
I probably got there within like 5 years, and I absolutely enjoyed, getting up there, whether you're talking to 5 people or you're talking to 30,000 people. Each person is an incredible human being that we want to make sure everybody's successful. Everybody deserves to be successful. And I know they can be successful as long as they believe in themselves and they start to apply all the principles of the book, Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, sir. And so when you have the opportunity to meet influencers, I'm going to get to a different topic here. When you have the opportunity to meet influencers, what would be some good ways that you'd suggest to go about actually staying in touch with those influencers, actually capturing that database, actually becoming friends with them? Because obviously you have an amazing circle around you, and you're very successful financially, so I'm sure that helps. But what would you suggest to the people that are middle end or trying to get more successfully financial? to be able to connect to influencers like ourselves and be able to do business with the higher elite level people?
Sure. Yeah. So again, I think that most people have that fear of approaching somebody, obviously, right? It's that fear of rejection. And, lately I've been getting a lot of people who said to me, hey, you know what, John, I actually I had that idea of the movie and I was going to call up the Napoleon Hill Foundation and get the rights and do the movie or whatever. I've had people, right? Oh my God, John, I was going to call up the Napoleon Hill Foundation and get the rights to write a book. And I said, well, but why didn't you?
Why didn't you?
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, why didn't you? Right? There's 4.6 billion Asians on this planet today. And I'm the only guy who actually called them up and said, may I get the rights to write the modern day version, a book for Asians? And you know what they said? Yes. Wow. And the takeaway from that is to ask without fear. Right. So too many people just don't ask. They're terrified. They're like, well, what if? Well, what if what? What if they said yes and come and hang, right? Come and do something with me.
Yeah, exactly.
We interviewed a lot of different celebrities in our book. Guys like Steve Aoki, who is a huge A-list, huge celebrity. And I said, I'm going to call up Steve Aoki, and we're going to ask him to interview him for our book. And everybody said, oh man, he's traveling all over the world. There's no way he would. I mean, he's in planes and trains and automobiles. Yeah. I mean, that guy works like a dog. And I said, yeah, well, we'll get to him. And you know what? There's a few people we asked that were close to him, his staff, his managers, his agents, and people like that. And they all said, nope, he wouldn't be interested, but thank you for the opportunity. We wish you the best. And we got rejected 4, 5, 6 times. And I said, well, you know what? Have we talked to Steve yet? And I said, you guys are talking to everybody except for Steve. Let's go talk to Steve. Let's hear from the guy himself. Yeah. And fortunately, we had a friend, her name was Adriana, and Adriana knew somebody very close to him, a guy named Doug. And then we asked Doug, and I said, can we ask Steve? And guess what he said? He said, sure. And he said, and then of course his whole team said, we're only going to have 20 minutes in the interview. So you got to get right to the point because Steve's real busy. And it was actually at the finale of his concert where he did a world tour and then came back for his finale concert at the Shrine Auditorium. And his show was going to start at 7:00. We got together with him at 3:30 to do a 20-minute interview, supposed to be done no later than 4. And guess what? We went for 3.5 hours in our interview. And so, it's just, you just got to ask without fear. And I think too many people just don't ask.
I think that's amazing advice, and you're definitely right. And I have so many stories I could share with that same type of advice. And speaking of interviews, I want to refer and say a shout out to Andrea Adams Miller and Ken Rashan with Keep Smiling. I know you just did an interview with them. They're part of our Ezway family, and it's a Keep Smiling movement, and they're supporting the whole Think and Grow Rich tour. They'll be there at your event on our behalf as well as theirs. And they're collaborating with us as far as pushing it out to their audience. So I wanted to shout them out. So you, John, you have been in many situations as an entrepreneur. You have come across a lot of different situations. What's some good knowledge that you can share with our audience as far as being a filmmaker and entrepreneurship? Like you have the entertainment side, which you're involved with, but you have to be an entrepreneur to make the money with it, and a lot of people want to kind of figure out that secret is, how do I actually be financially successful? How do I monetize when I'm doing entertainment? What would be some tips you could give in that category?
Ooh, I think that was almost like a 2-part question, right? Because there's the part of making the money and then taking the money and doing something with the money. So yeah. Let me just tell everybody, I know, there's a lot of people that say, I got my hands in 50 different jars of cookies, so they got, I got one, about a week and a half ago, I had a lady, she came to my house and she says, I really need some advice. And I said, all right, great. Let's sit down and let's figure out what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And I said, so what are you working on right now? I mean, what's your background? She says, well, I got my notary license. So I do notary work. And I was like, all right, what else do you do? And she says, well, I'm doing real estate. And I said, what else are you doing? She says, well, I'm selling this product. It's a network marketing company, and I've got this herbal product. And John, maybe you should even drink some of this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Give me a sample. Let's check it out. And then what else do you do? She says, I'm also a volunteer at my church, on Sundays and this and that. And I also do this with my kids. I'm a soccer mom. I'm just like, okay, yeah. Great. And I say, And I just had to stop her for a second, and because it was overwhelming for me just to listen to it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the fact that she was sitting there physically putting her effort and her time into all these different things, this is why she was so overwhelmed and she
Yeah.
wasn't getting results, because she was spreading herself too thin.
Mhm.
Look, Napoleon Hill talks about, burning your ships, right? Or some people say burn your bridge, and you have to do that. You have to be able to say, I'm going to walk away from whatever I'm going to be doing.
Mhm.
Chapter 2 of the book says to have faith in what you're doing,
Mhm.
right? Have some organized plans and then carry it out. And so the thing is that once you know what you're going to do, you have to put 150% of your effort into that business of
Mhm.
whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur, and just be sold out to it. And then once you do that, you start to make money. You start to reap what you sow. And now you have some money. Most successful people, yeah, but look at J-Lo. I mean, J-Lo's got like 12 different kinds of businesses, and look at Mark Wahlberg and Will Smith. Well, yeah, what you didn't see is how hard they worked in just one thing first. They make the money, and then you can diversify. But don't try to go be a John Shin or an Ed Milet or,
or an Eric Zuley. Come on.
Or an Eric Zuley, right? Overnight. It takes time to get there. So I tell people, man, and here's the thing. Every day you wake up, you have to think about what you think about. I ask people, you ever think about what you think about? What are you thinking about? Because whatever you think about will affect the way we feel every day. And then how you feel will determine the way you act. And then the way you act will determine the results. And then the results were directly correlated by what you were thinking up here, right? If you, people say, but I'm only making 50,000 a year. I don't know why. These are the cards that were dealt to me. Well, because your thinking is so daggum small, right? So if you started to have a bigger dream, Dr. Martin Luther King said that most people die at the age of 25. We just don't bury them until they're 85, right? Because at the age of 25, you've given up on all your dreams, right? You stopped dreaming bigger, right? You allowed other people to hijack your dreams. And as a child, right? I'm getting real passionate about this now, right?
Bring it.
At 5 years of age, you go to little Johnny and you go, hey, Johnny, when you grow up, what do you want to be? And they say crazy things like, I'm going to be an astronaut, an Olympic gold medalist. I'm going to be the president of the United States. And you're like, Johnny, you need to go to college, right? You need to go, be a doctor or a lawyer. Yeah, okay, right? I got doctors and lawyers that don't want to be doctors and lawyers anymore. Okay, so why do you want to be a doctor and a lawyer? Go do what you were. See, there's another thing that I tell everybody, that everyone is wired for success, but programmed to fail. Okay. So why are you programmed to fail? Because you look at stupid things, right? You're watching the news, right? You're watching.
Oh, there we go. The signal.
Sorry about that, man.
It's all good. Keep going. Yeah. Keep the energy, man. Don't stop.
Yeah. So here, basically, what ended up happening is that I lost my train of thought there when the thing disconnected there. What was I just saying?
Well, you were talking about you were talking about the parents and people wanting to follow their dreams and actually doing what they want to actually do. I think it was.
Yeah. So I tell people that your dreams have to be massive, right? And I say that your dreams have to be so big that you got stretch marks on your brain, right? So that you actually are thinking bigger than everybody else. But you can't be watching TV every day, violent things, watching the news, and TV and all that kind of stuff. Because that kind of stuff is just, it's all negative. It's all toxic. And what are you putting into your head? Instead, you should be jumping on podcast shows like this, and where you're listening. I mean, I think what you do, Eric, seriously is awesome. But think about how many people, when you told them, hey, I'm going to have my own show, I'm going to do my own podcast show, my radio show, my own TV show. And everybody said, Eric, are you sure about that? I mean, and now you've got one of the hottest TV shows and podcast shows out there. And so look, who's got the last laugh now? Okay.
Yes,
so the thing is, I tell everybody, man, don't you go listen to all those people. And here's the thing. Here's what I know. People are going to rain on your parade. People are always going to talk about you, good and bad. Okay. So here's the thing. I did a talk up in Toronto, Canada. I thought I knocked it out of the park. It was a home run. And as soon as I was done, you know, I came back feeling good. You know, I was going to come home and tell Arlene, oh my God, man, this crowd was it was awesome, right? 15,000 people, got off the stage, killed it. And I come home and I get this call 3 days later and they said, hey, John, some lady actually wrote a blog about you. And I'm like, oh, cool. I mean, I want to get a copy of it. It's been awesome. And I'm like, they go, well, no, actually she was talking about how you had a short man's complex and that you had all this jewelry. That you had all this jewelry on and that you're like an insecure guy because you had all this jewelry to cover up, you know, your insecurities, and your talk was like stupid. And this lady took, I don't know how much time to write up an 8-page blog about me. Does that make sense? Right.
So love
it. And so here's the thing. So my argument to that is that if I didn't wear a $3,000 suit, and I wore jeans and tennis shoes and a tank top, you know what people would have said? If this guy's so rich, why doesn't he go buy himself a nice suit?
Yep.
Right? You know, if he's so rich, why isn't he wearing a Rolex? Why is he wearing that cheap watch of his, right? And so, you know, it's interesting, no matter what you do, people are going to talk about you. So here's what I know. I know, right, that 97% of the people out there are probably talking crap about me or talking shit behind my back. Can I even say that on the show, right? They're probably talking, they're talking shit about me behind my back. I'm 97% sure, Eric, they are. But I'm 100% sure that I don't give a shit. Does that make sense, right?
They want to be you. They want to be in your circles. And I love what you said, John, on the mindset side of things, because, you know, when I go into a meeting, the number one thing that I know, I don't think, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. The number one thing that I know for a fact is that I'm going to close that deal. You know, when I'm going live, I'm going to kill it and I'm going to get a lot of attention. I know that positive angle. My dad's dealing with lymphoma cancer right now, John. And, you know, his mindset is so unbelievably strong and he has so much faith that he knows he's going to beat it. And he did. He beat it, you know, 10 years of remission. It's back again, but he's going to do it again. And he always taught me the way in which you think determines your outcome. And, you know, it's so important to know that you're going to do something. I mean, I don't have the maybe, possibility, you know, any of that type of vocabulary in my language. You know, it just doesn't exist to me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the thing is that your mind, there's no room in your mind to have both positive and negative thoughts. You can't have both. They cannot coexist in the same mind space, right? So it's either going to be one or the other. So you're either going to be really positive or you're going to be negative, right? You're either going to be an optimist or you're going to be a pessimist, right? And a pessimist always seems to be right too. You know, I had a guy who's so pessimistic. Like, I mean, every time he's sitting in a room and like, oh my God, it's so cold in here. You know, they're like, oh, okay. Next thing you know, oh my God, it's so hot in here. I mean, this guy could be standing outside in the middle of the street and $100 bills could be coming down from the sky. And this guy's going to say, oh my God, I'm going to get a paper cut, right? I mean, it's just like, I mean, seriously, you have to make the decision to make the right decisions. And the word decide is an important thing too. You know, in the book, Think and Grow Rich, you know, Napoleon Hill refers to the word decision, to decide. Make a decision on your own, right? So in other words, if you look at the word decide, in the word itself, the word D, right? D-E means to do, right? To do. And the word side, C-I-D-E, right, means to die. I mean, like suicide, pesticide, homicide, right? So you took, it says, the word itself says decide, right? Do or die. So you have to make some decisions. And then once you make those decisions and stop listening to everybody else, you decide. You know, go with your heart, go with your instincts, go with that gut, as Napoleon Hill refers to it as your sixth sense, right?
Yeah. So John, I want to take some time and give some love to some of our Ezway family and some of your fans. We got Kiss the Monkeys in the house. What's up, Alan Raquel? They've been commenting there. You know, so guys, if you comment, we're gonna be showing your comments and you'll see yourselves on Roku and DirecTV and Sony satellite receivers and all the stuff that we do. So remember, this is just the live portion of it, but it goes all over the place. So make sure you're posting your comments. And if you got questions for John, if you got questions for me, don't be shy. Seize that opportunity. Learn. Get those golden nuggets. So shout outs to, you know, one particular comment I saw that was really clever that Diaries of the Holy Night said, and I wanted to find it. I'm thinking about making, no, it was something about tears. Oh, here we go. Eric Zuley could monetize his tears and get rich by chooses to help people instead. I thought that was clever. The a little play on words. And then John Michael Ferrari is in here. We appreciate him. To Kiss the Monkeys, you see. So I just wanted to show some love to some of the people that have been tuning in and hanging with us. So sorry to knock you off track there, but I want to get back into the speaking thing. I mean, how many stages have you spoken on? I mean, you guys just saw he's spoken in front of 30,000 some people. I mean, that's the big time right there.
I last year in 2018, I did 210 talks, and a count and basically 10 months because I took, the entire month of December off, just trying to spend some time with my children and my family, and then of course you had all the birthdays and all that kind of stuff. But I did 210 talks last year all over the place. And everywhere I went, I met amazing people. I mean, even Al and Raquel would Kiss the Monkeys. I mean, they're awesome and they're always supportive. And, Kiss the Monkeys, Al and Raquel, they're also going to be doing some cool things on our tour where they're actually hosting all the pre-parties and after parties. So, if you're coming out to our tour, which we hope we see everybody there, make sure you come to the pre-party and after parties with and
oh, did we lose you again?
There we go. I'm back. Yep. So I was just telling you that we got all the pre-parties and after parties, and Raquel and Al are actually organizing all that, and I appreciate them tremendously.
Yeah, they're part of the Ezway family. We're Kiss the Monkeys. We've been collaborating together for a long time. Definitely a big shout outs to them. The tour. So let's get into the tour. I want to get back to a couple specific questions that a lot of our audience wanted to know, but. I know the tour is important and it's beyond incredible. You got Anaheim, Chicago, San Diego, Sacramento, Phoenix, Boston, New York, Orlando, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Houston, Dallas. I mean, Atlanta. We're looking forward to supporting you. And we have some people coming down to the Anaheim Convention Center to cover and get a couple things to go along with this. And tell us about the tour. Let's get into that a little bit. And then guys, what we're going to do after the tour, don't go anywhere because I'm going to get back into the speaking secrets and the golden nuggets. And the next question I have is going to be, how do you get on stages? What's the secrets to get on stages like John's on, like I'm on? And so don't go anywhere. So let's get into the tour, John. You got some great people on here. How did it start? What's happening? How do people get tickets? How do they get involved?
Yeah, great question. So at the tour, one of the things that obviously is people can go online and find what the 13 principles are. And that's great to know what it is, but it's another thing to learn how to apply it into their own lives. And I've been studying, Think and Grow Rich for the last 25 years. And Bob Proctor has also done that for, probably close to 40 years, he says. But the thing is,
sorry, I was trying to play.
No worries.
Go ahead.
And it's not about just learning the principles, but it's how do you internalize it and apply it. And every time I hear people like Satish Verma or Sharon Lecter or Greg Reed, they all have a different way of interpreting the book. And it's amazing what everybody gets out of the book. So that's number one. Number two is we want to show people after that, the how-tos, right? So all about, digital marketing, branding, the questions you're asking, how do I make money on stage? How do I get on stage? How do I get in front of a large crowd? Et cetera, et cetera. So how to start a business, right? If some people want to know how to build or recruit a sales force and then retain that sales force to go and sell, their product or service. I mean, there's so much to learn in business, and we got another whole day of just the how-tos. So it's going to be a tremendous day. And here's the thing. I've told a lot of people that if you show up and you don't feel like you get your ticket's value worth, just come and see me and I'll refund the money back to you, man. I mean, really? Oh yeah, no question about it. I have never done an event where I have had this type of a lineup with the content we're going to be sharing with people, and if people show up and they're not sitting in the room and they're outside smoking cigarettes and vaping all day long for 2 days standing outside, yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of value. But if you actually take some notes, right, take some notes and you come up to me and sit in the room for 2 days, and you can't tell me that you're not going to get your 2 days worth of what you invested into this event. And then ticket prices are ridiculous. And, ticket prices are $69 for a student. So if you can show a valid student ID, because we want the younger generation to learn this stuff, right? $69 is almost ridiculous. $149 a ticket for a 1 day if you can only come 1 day. But if you want to come,
sorry to stop you, John. So you're saying $69 for a ticket, and they get to hear from you, Mario Lopez, Greg Reed, James Dentley, Kevin Harrington, all those people and their advice for $69?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
We're going to have lawyers there. They're going to talk about, company, how to form your company, the different formation ways, is it an LLC or if it's a S Corp, and I mean, these lawyers are coming in giving amazing, you couldn't even hire a lawyer for $150 to get all the advice that they're going to give you on that stage. You just can't, we're going to talk about so many amazing things. And I know that whatever we share on stage is going to save them money and help them grow and make money.
If I may, I'd like to, like I told you and let me talk about this a little bit, because going back to my question is, how do you get with influencers? How do you collaborate? How do you build relationships with them? I mean, the way we met, I hit you up on Facebook. I didn't know you, you didn't know me. And I wasn't afraid. I reached out. I said, this is what I can do. And I said, I could serve you first. I could help you. This is what I want to do. And so I want to get back to that on the show. My network's pretty decent. I think you've researched us. You looked at our stuff. I mean, we're out there. We're going to be sending some people down to your event on the Anaheim Convention Center to do some interviews and whatnot. And what I'd like to do on the show is offer people to have the opportunity to maybe get some tickets, and we'll choose 5 special people that are watching the show that end up going and they get the tickets. Show us your receipt. If you show us your receipt, I'll have my team go interview you, whether it's live on Facebook or we put you on our Roku channel or whatever. We have event television, which is pretty big. We reach 605 million people through all of our syndication and distribution. So how about that, man? Let's collaborate. Let's put some stuff together on the show so it gets people interested and wants to hit the tour. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. Absolutely.
There it is. So what we'll do, guys, is if you get your tickets, and just contact me and we'll hook you up. That $69, we're going to add to that value to be able to get a massive amount of exposure. We just did the Spotlight Summit with Allison Hildebrandt Larson, and Greg Reed was there, and Mika Fitzgerald, and I was speaking as well. And it was amazing. We'll be putting that on about 10 days on Roku. And it's amazing editing. It's amazing. And a lot of people got a lot of exposure, and that's what we're all about is helping entrepreneurs that are like-minded. And we've been blessed. So don't ever forget the gifts that you're given, and make sure you're using those gifts the right way. And that's all we're trying to do, is make God smile. So let's collaborate, man. Let's put it together, and I'll have my publicist go down there. I'll have my camera team. And so guys, hit us up. Hey, Carmelita, how you doing? Carmelita, oh, wow, we got some big people in here, John. And so hit us up, and we'll do that for you. So text Ezway to the number 55678. You text OTT to the number 59925 if you're interested in getting a channel and increasing your media. So this is going to be a pretty awesome tour. So what's the schedule like, so people have an idea from top to bottom? I mean, you see a lot of big names here. As we're doing this, you see when are you speaking? When is Greg speaking? When is James? Ultimately Mario Lopez and Kevin Harrington, David Metzer. I mean, you got some really big people on this. So what's the agenda, so people know? Because people don't like to go to something for an all-day thing, but maybe they'll want to go for a particular person. When are you speaking? When is your main thing? Because I know a lot of my fans are anxious to meet you.
Well, oh, wow. I mean, I'll be hosting on the first day on Friday at 10 o'clock. We go 10 to 7 each day.
Okay.
We're starting a little bit later so people can manage through traffic in LA, especially. So we start at 10 and, from 10 to 1. And then after that, we go till 7. And it's going to be an action-packed day. I mean, there'll be celebrities dropping in that we're not even promoting their names up on the screen right now. It's going to blow them away. And then on the next day, on Saturday, Tim Story will be hosting, and Tim Story is Oprah Winfrey's coach. He's the coach to Magic Johnson, and he's the coach to some of the biggest names and A-list celebrities here in Hollywood and Beverly Hills. So he'll be hosting the whole second half, of the event. So,
wow! And for $69,
it's gonna be
really?
Yeah. Well, the $69 is the student rate, right? I mean, the adult price is $149 for 2 days. So you're looking at what?
No, that's nothing.
$75 a day for 7 days. I mean, it's like That breaks down to $10 an hour. So if you can find a bunch of these multimillionaires and billionaires that can coach you for $10 an hour, then you should seize the moment, because you're never going to find that opportunity again anywhere.
Guys, let me tell you, this is honestly a no-brainer. I mean, we just went to an event that was $300 to $500 for 3 days, and this is less than that, and way more value. And on top of that, you're getting Ezway promotions and Ezway network. Come on, so don't sleep on it if you're in the Orange County area. If you're not, get on the plane. You know, I mean, you still got a couple of days to hit this. And I mean, the knowledge, you got to really think about the knowledge that you're going to really get, and the variety of the knowledge that you're going to get, and how much money. I mean, knowledge is power. Knowledge is monetization, you know? So you got some, you know, what I love too, is you got a really good variety. I mean, Dee Dee Wong's another person that's involved with us. I know these people are amazing. So, I mean, like let's break this down. You got Mario Lopez, who's obviously an A-list celebrity as far as hosting goes and TV, and you know, he's a philanthropist as well. James Dentley is NBC University. Come on, they got hundreds of thousands of millionaires that they've made. You know, Sharon Lecter, she's a legend. You know, and Kevin Harrington, who's the infomercial, you know, commercial, Shark Tank. I mean, you want to learn about infomercials and commercials, that is the guy. Bill Walsh is just an amazing speaker and a team builder. I look at him as a, you know, pretty major team builder. And Dee Dee Wong is a huge event producer. And you know, so many others. They're on here. Greg Reed's got the new movie. By the way, shout outs to Frank Shanklitz and Greg Reed and Mark and everybody, and Sharon. The movie's coming out June 7th, I believe it is, in Los Angeles. We'll be at that premiere. And you know, these are all, a lot of them are Ezway influencers, and if they're not, they're gonna be, you know, and we're fully behind you, man. I'm excited. And what I love is this is in my back door. This is in my backyard. You know, I mean, this is Orange County, and I have a lot of people in Orange County. Oh, Kelly Bennett's on too, Purpose Driven PR. So there's a lot of people that are on here that are going to be able to push this, and Kelly's going to be there. So if you guys, you can hit up Kelly and say hi to her. She'll be there on my behalf as a publicist, and it's really incredible. And I don't see too many people doing a thing of this caliber with this many names. And don't think that you got past me, man. I heard bigger names. I heard secret A-lister, secret people, whatever. Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek of some of those people or on the show? Like give us something that's you haven't told anybody yet?
I can't do it.
Something.
They can't do it.
Okay, how about this? Give us a hint. What's their initial? What's the initials of the letters for their names?
I'll tell you what, we're going to have Grammy award-winning people there, right? Oscar award-winning people. And we're going to have CEOs or C-level type executives from Fortune 50 corporations. And I'm telling you, when you hear the names of these corporations, you're going to be blown away.
That is, I mean, so it's definitely not a miss. I mean, dude, we got people from Sweden, you know, popping. Oh, Gustav, what's up, man? How you doing? I mean, we got some good people on here, so I love the Ezway family. They're starting to pop in. So, all right, so as you see, this is an amazing tour, amazing cities, amazing things, you know, and if you don't mind, John, we're going to officially, let me go ahead and do the double screen here. So we're going to officially dub you as a Ezway network influencer and put you on the Ezway Wall of Fame and support the heck out of you, man.
Oh, I'm super honored. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. So I want to get back into the speaking portion of things, because I have a lot of fans, a lot of supporters, a lot of Ezway family that want to get on stages. That's a big thing of what they want to do. What would be some suggestions that you could give them to get on stages?
You know what? I'll be honest. I'm going to keep it real simple. Ask, right? So that's number one is ask. You know, some people think like that all these different people are going to reach out to you and say, can you come and speak on my stage? And it doesn't work that way. You have to actually reach out to them, introduce yourself to them, and then and then ask if you can actually have some time on their stage. I've had so many people call me almost every day. We probably get anywhere between 3 to 10 people who call in. We're getting all these books sent to us right now. And I never knew these people, right? So the fact that I'm getting a book tells me, oh, they're an author. Okay, cool. Who is this person? So for me personally, I'm going to say that 99% of the people I did not know coming on this stage, right, until I decided to put on the world tour. And now I go put on the world tour, and now people are calling me. I've gotten free books from all these people, and I'm like, oh, who's this author? So what do I naturally do? First thing I'm going to do is I look at the author and I go, I wonder how visual they are or how prominent they are in the social media world. So I go and check out their Instagram, right? And then I find out that some of them don't even have an Instagram account, right? So I go, how influential are they in social media when they don't have an Instagram account? So then I go, all right, well, let me see how if they're big on YouTube or Facebook, and then they don't even have their own channels, yet on YouTube. So you need to at least start a channel on YouTube and throw up some content, right? So this is what we say: throw up some free content on YouTube that people can actually apply to. When you look at a guy like Grant Cardone or Gary Vee, I mean, they're all over social media just giving out free content, and now people are like, all right, that's pretty crazy. I want to go see them. I want to seek them out. I want to go to one of their events. So it's like, go on social media and provide some free content for people, and social media is free, right? And then after you do that, then follow up, right? So it's amazing that people just don't follow up enough in life and in business. They'll go and plant the seed, but they don't follow up. How many times you have to keep on calling them over and over and over to finally get in the door, and then they finally say, okay, already, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I have this one lady right now. She called me probably 3 times a day and said, are any of your speakers sick or can't make it? Do you need a substitute? How about now? And even last night, she texted me at 11:30 p.m. and said, okay, we're 3 days away. Do you want me to just show up just in case someone gets sick? And I'm like, and I could be the pinch hitter. And so, when you see that kind of, I said, you know what? I said, here's the thing. You're amazing. You know what I want you to talk about? I want you to talk about follow-up at the event.
Yeah.
And your tenacity. And by the way, when I talked about, what you think about earlier will influence the way you feel, right? And then what you feel will determine the way you act. The letter ACT in itself, you realize, is a lesson in itself, right? Because A stands for appropriate. So you got to take appropriate action. So if you want to become a celebrity or a speaker, what kind of actions are you taking right now? And I just gave you a few, right? Number 2 is to be consistent, which is what we just talked about. And then number 3, and T, the letter T stands for tenacious, right? To have some tenacity with whatever you're doing. And if you continue to be consistent and you're tenacious and you take appropriate action, you'll get the results. And then all of a sudden, you'll be some big A-list professional speaker, and you're getting paid to be on stage. Instead of you paying to go on stage, you're getting paid to get on stage.
Yeah. I remember the first time I was actually paid to host, and I was paid to be on stage, and awesome feeling. So I want to share the screen, John, because there's a lot of comments, more people now. Shout outs to Jose Beltran and WPS Events for sharing this and putting it out. And they're starting to pop in now because they didn't know about YouTube. I promoted everything on Facebook. But Jose just shared. I appreciate him. Now, one comment I saw from Sweden. This was interesting. You guys see right here, working out on climbing on a wall. He's climbing a wall right now and listening and writing up on air. So he's climbing a wall and he's listening to the show. But yeah, shout out to my Ezway family. I love them. I love you guys so much. Okay, so you're great advice on getting on the stage. What's some advice that you have as far as being on the stage and giving a great presentation and capturing the audience and basically killing it and getting value from it?
Okay, so that's one thing I think as a speaker, you have to control the logistics. You have to tell the audience or the people who are putting on the event what you want in terms of your material, right? Are you using PowerPoint? Are you going to be using audio or videos on stage, right? And make sure that they actually have the setup for it and the capability to provide all the different instruments to display what you need to do on the screen. But one thing I always tell people to do is that people learn differently. There's a whole study that's been done, right? And you can actually go on Google and type in the learning formula. And the learning formula, there's a triangle and it shows the different percentages and levels of how people learn. And it has now been proven scientifically, right, through all the different studies and so what have you, that people learn better right? The majority of the people learn by what they see,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And not by what they hear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about what they see, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to put up some sort of an illustration up on the screen
Mm-hmm.
instead of, because I always ask speakers, I'm like, so you got your PowerPoint? You haven't said this. I'm not doing a PowerPoint. I'm like, how do you not do a PowerPoint? You know, and I already know now this talk is not going to be as effective as they want it to be, you know, because they don't have any content that people can actually see on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is there's a formula for communication and how you can effectively communicate with people. So that formula is that what communicates to people, right, is it's 55, 38, 7.
Mm-hmm.
So 55% of what communicates to people is your actual body language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm making a call to somebody, a sales call, I'm prospecting somebody, I don't want to be sitting there laying back in my couch like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or my chair and just chilling when I'm making a call. In fact, I got these little iPods in my ear and I'm standing up and I'm pacing around my office
Mm-hmm.
making a call. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually, believe it or not,
I love, dude. I love you. I do the same thing. I walk my dog and I work out and I'm punching the bag while I'm on my calls and stuff. And you get your exercise in and you get your money in.
Yeah, right. I mean, you got to be up on your feet. You can't be like sitting there going, hello, you know, and I'm basically dialing. This is very old school, aren't we? Right. You know, but I mean, whatever it is,
yeah.
You know, 55% of what communicates to people is your body language.
Yep.
Now, 38% of what communicates to people is your tone. Okay. And so, and so, you know, what's going, are you monotone? You know what I mean? When you're speaking, do you have this flat voice and there's nothing happening and it's examined, you know, you're like a robot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens, it's like a flat line. When you look at an EKG in the medical world, what does a flat line look like, right? It basically means you're dead. Yeah, exactly, right? And so that's what you're doing to your crowd. You're killing them. You're making them just pass out, right? So you can't be monotone. You can't be flatline. And then 7% of what communicates to people is the actual words that you actually choose, right? So 55% is body language. And so this is why you see people, even I'm sitting here right now in a chair and I'm kind of going crazy because I really want to be pacing, right? But I'm going like this because I got my body language going, man. I'm fired up. I'm, you know, doing this. I'm, you know, whatever, you know, so I got my body language.
And everybody's fired up when you do it the easy way. I had to plug my.
That's true, but that's true. It is, right? I mean, you know, get it going. Get that body language going when you're talking to people.
Well, let me point something else out too, John. I saw one of the comments. My publicist actually was on the team, and she was a big person responsible for the Amber Alerts awareness and getting to the president and how big Amber Alert got. And if you look right here, she said, "Get me a one sheet, and I'll send it to my media." Bro, you don't have no idea how powerful that is. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. So that is big. That is really big. And I'll make sure I get that connected. So again, guys, you're watching Easy Talk Live. We're waking up the Easy Way with John Shin, executive producer, Think and Grow Rich Tour. He's now officially dubbed as an Easy Way Network influencer. You'll see us putting that out. You know, we're going to be there supporting the Anaheim Convention Center and his event that he's doing. I want you guys to do the same. We're giving away a ticket or two. What do you think, John? You think we can give away a ticket or two on the show?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, all right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. As you see, and here, so going back to your follow-up, John, I loved how you were talking about that. And that's one of the things that our business offers actually is follow-up tools. If you guys notice in the back of me, you see, you know, right. I don't know. Anyway, on the, I don't know which side, but wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah. You see text Easy Way to 55678. If you guys text Easy Way to 55678, we're going to look within the next 4 hours from when this show ends to then and pick somebody out of random to actually get that ticket. But here's the thing. If you get the ticket, we need you to actually do a selfie and show the love and show the support of the Think and Grow Rich Tour. We need you to promote. We need you to support. We need you to push. You know, we need you to be a part of it. And if you go down there, you've obviously won the contest. We'll make sure we get a little interview in with you. Kelly will take care of that. And so that'll be fun, right? We'll give away 2 tickets. So you guys text Easy Way to 55678, and me and John, you know, got you guys' back. So John, let me ask you a question, man. I gotta try to get a little bit of an endorsement here off somebody as successful as you are. This is the first time you've been on my show. You just met me, maybe half a month, almost a month now. We've kind of talked here and there. And what do you think about your Ezway experience?
It's awesome. I love you know what I loved, and that's another thing, right? Is when a lot of podcasts I've actually been on, I get on and I feel like in a black room, you know, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on. It's absolutely silent. You know what I loved about the beginning is that you had the energy, the music going, right? So it was thumping and they call it the BPM, right? The beats per minute of your music. And I was sitting here, and believe it or not, I was kind of going. I was kind of like, you know, hey, you know, doing my thing. And I got pretty, you know, I got fired up, you know, listening to that. And then I loved your intro video, right? Because now you're branding yourself. You know, loved, you know, how you said, oh my God, look at my show, look at what so you actually invested into your show and actually created, you know, some real awesome, like an introduction to make it very authentic and like at another level. So, and I don't mean to knock anybody else's, you know, podcast show. And a lot of people are like, well, hey man, you were on my show last week. You didn't say that. Well, yeah, well, you know what? You didn't have the music. You didn't have the little video doing the intro and the ramp up and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was very classy, man. I love being on the show, and I love the fact that you're even doing a show like this to provide real content, bringing in amazing speakers to provide value to your audience. It's awesome, man.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that, and we invite you to be on our Ezway influencer show that we're going to be building. We're going to be building a special show that's going to be, you know, hype and fun, but gives people the chance to, you know, digitally shake hands on a digital stage is what we're calling it. And we'll talk more about that. We're just basically helping influencers interact with their fans. So speaking of the music and the hypeness, I didn't get a chance to promote my theme song here. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. You guys listen to this theme song. I want you to read up on John's story and learn a little bit more about John. And we're going to give it about a minute so you can learn a little bit more about John and his story. It's really an incredible story. And guys, you're watching Easy Talk Live. We're waking up the Ezway with John Shin. I'm Eric Zuley, and this is Ezway TV on Roku and so many other things. We'll be right back here in a moment as I click play. There we go.
Word, the Ezway, what can I say? Carolina, yeah, to California, making moves and carpets and major interviews. About to pop, ready and now.
Oh, wait. I forgot to tell you, John, you got to show us your moves as we're doing this. All right, I'm just kidding, man. We'll be right back. So you guys enjoying the show? Post your comments. Don't forget.
Now we never lose, never stop, and never play. We go getters, never play, just rolling the easy way. Life is hard, that's why I roll the easy way. Life is hard, that's why I roll the easy way. Life is hard, that's why I roll the easy way. Life is hard, that's why I roll the easy way.
Quick little intermission there, and so yeah, guys, make sure you go to johnshinofficial.com. You know, I loved your story when I was reading on you know, when you first started as a family immigrated to Los Angeles in the 1960s. You know, you were in East Los Angeles and you finally settled in Glendale. You grew up. I mean, you've been bullied. You know, you put out. I mean, you made your first $100. You know, in candy sales. You know, then you earned $150 to purchase your first bike. And I mean, you seemed like an entrepreneur when you were 3 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? I'm just really competitive. I mean, I think all of us, when we were in school, they were doing these fundraisers and they're selling these dollar chocolate bars, right? Or different kinds of things, cookies or whatever. And I always wanted to be, you know, the winner. I wanted to win the most. And so I went door to door selling chocolate bars and candy bars, you know, just because I wanted to win. They had one that was called the Mongoose. I don't remember if anybody remembers those bikes years ago. It was a BMX bike, and I wanted to win a Mongoose. I didn't want my parents to pay for my Mongoose. I went and earned it by selling the most amount of chocolate bars, you know, and I'm just ferociously competitive, right? I love to win. I want to be the best. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to compete with other people, right? But I have a saying that, you know, don't be bitter, just get better, right? So I don't want to be bitter. I want to get better. I want John Shin. I want to be the best version of me, right? So every day I wake up, I want to be a better husband, a better sister, a brother to my sister. I want to be a better son, right, to my parents, a better, mentor, a better coach. And so every day I'm still reading because I want to always outlearn everybody else so that I have more knowledge, right? So that I can be more valuable to people.
I like that. Don't get bitter, get better. What advice would you have, or what would you want to say to those people out there that are bitter and are not using their skills to be better? What I mean is haters and people that are bullying people and people that are upset because they're not in the positions that we are in. Like, what would you have to say to those people? And hopefully we can transition them, revert them. We can help them with these words of wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard people talk about association, right? I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can actually there's a video about the rotten, bowl of fruit. That if you have a bowl of fruit over time, that one little rotten, fruit does begin to influence all the other fruit, and you can see the timeline and how that rotten fruit begins to affect every other fruit in the bowl. And I know a lot of people talk about, it's the, what do you call it? The 5 people you associate with, you become the average of the 5 people you associate with. I don't even know has that really been scientifically proven? Or is that somebody, why not 4, right? Why is it 5?
Yeah.
Why is it not 6? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
all I do,
you are who you hang with,
Yeah. But I got to tell you what, the first thing you got to do is find at least one good person to hang out with, right? At least one, because that one person is going to say, hey, because, you sit there and you go, well, do I want to go to the gym today? No, actually I don't. But then my friend Eric calls me. I was like, hey, Shin. He goes, bro, come with me. Let's go Let's go do the little punching bag. Let's go to the gym. Come on, man. And then I'm like, oh, all right. I'm going to come by and pick you up. And all of a sudden, it's like you being that one person and who you associate with could make all the difference in life. And it doesn't have to be 5, but it's got to start with at least 1. Okay. And so I tell people, man, start with that one person to see how they're influencing you. I mean, it's like eating too, right? You ever try to go on a diet but your husband or wife is not? So, here's the husband at home is like, honey, I'm going to go on a diet. And the wife is eating pizza or pasta.
Yeah.
Right. And a rack of pork ribs or whatever, or vice versa. The husband's eating all these steaks and ribeye steak, and the wife is eating her asparagus and her, green, and spinach. And how exciting is that? But if you both did it at the same time, it's so much easier to do.
John, I want to get into your life and that transition. Can you go? Let's put a John Shin crystal ball and let's go back in the past where you had that first. Can you give us the story of that first opportunity that really gave you that success, that gave you that next level, that gave you that, I'm making some financial income, I'm getting that fame. What was that point in your life that transition, that stepping stone happened?
So when was the first time, when I knew, I was going to start making money?
For me, I think the biggest point in my life was when I ended up meeting Acons and that whole group and stuff like that. So I was hitting a lot of red carpets and doing interviews. And then I ended up meeting a producer, which was a very major producer. And then I started being brought into all these circles and all these things started happening. I had all this access, and I think that was the point in my life that took it to that next level. I mean, I was doing okay, but it took it to if you have a scale of 1 to 10, it would be 5 or above, to where, okay, I'm creeping to my next level of success. So can you tell us the story of that part in your life?
Actually, it was when I met my wife. I know it sounds maybe some people cheesy or corny or whatever, but when I first met her, when I first met her in law school, it was within 3 months I proposed to her, right? And I mean, I knew she was the one. And I remember walking up to her to propose to her, and this is why you all have to learn how to sell, right? Because I walked up to her and I closed her pretty much, right? I mean, I got down on my knees and I said, hey, would you like to marry me on August 13th or August 20th? Right? What day works for you, right? It was the same thing. If you're going to get on somebody's stage and say, hey, excuse me, would you like me to be on your stage next week or the week after? Which day works where I can be on your stage?
That's called, the guys in sales, that's called assuming the close. And what was her buying signal?
She said, yeah. She says, I'm busy on August 20th, you know? And I said, well, then August 13th it is, right? So,
yeah,
so she showed up.
That's a close-ended. There's an actual. Let's get into that, and that's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that with us. But let's get into the sales part of things, because obviously you have to be pretty successful, and I'm pretty successful in sales as well. And I mean, sales is pretty much everything. And so you know the 7 steps of sales? Of course you do.
I don't know what the 7 steps are, but I mean, there's different kinds of closing lines. But most of the time for me, I call it the assumptive close, right? Mm-hmm. Because I already know they're going to buy from me if it's a client, right? I already know this is what it's just a matter of how much. Okay. So I have to figure out exactly, are they going to be doing $500 a month in a savings plan or $250 in a savings plan? But I don't ever go in there wondering if they're going to invest. I always know they're going to invest.
Let's role play here, John, if you don't mind. I'm a client of yours, and okay. You're going to sell me on one of your programs or something like that. So we're going to role play here, and let's see if he can close me, guys.
Okay, great. So, hey, Eric, what are you doing for your future, your financial future?
Well, I have my savings and 301k and our insurance, but I don't really know yet. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Oh, so you have insurance then?
We are planning. Yeah, we're planning on getting insurance. We've been talking to some people.
Great. What's holding you back?
There's so many options.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think you can afford on a monthly basis? You think you do $100 a month or $200 a month?
$100 a month.
Okay, great. Let me just get some information from you and let's get this paperwork started. Hey, so when were you born, Eric?
March 18th, 1982.
There it is. I'm already starting the paperwork.
I like how, there's a lot of different closes. There's close-ended questions, there's open-ended questions, and a lot of those it was a close-ended question series. And but the other thing too that I think you forgot, John, is the rapport. You didn't know who I was. We didn't get to know.
Oh, I thought we were doing I thought we were already past that part. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, we're way past that. You're an Ezway influencer, brother. All right, so I have some people that are messaging me and texting me, and I don't know why they're not on the YouTube. I dropped the phone 10 meters of height. Phone survived, says Gustav. I mean, he's still climbing and he's still watching, still listening to the show. That's funny. So I have some people that are asking me to, share who I am and what I do. And I guess I should do that. My dad is actually one of them. So I'm gonna show you guys a quick little 30-second promo. If you guys don't know me, this is a quick little 30-second promo on who I am and what I do. And you guys can just text the thing that's right there behind me if you're interested, and we'll be right back here.
Life is hard.
I'm Larry Namer, co-founder of E! Entertainment Television. I really wanted to say a few words about Eric Ezway, or Easy, as a lot of people know him.
Hi, I'm Christopher McDonald. I'm doing Hollywood the easy way.
Eric has been an incredible entrepreneur in the entertainment business, particularly dealing with new media and matching celebrities to all kinds of new media. I just want to say, Eric, keep up the dedication, the perseverance, and the creativity. You're helping to change the media world.
Short and sweet, right? All right, we're back with John Shin. What did you think of that promo, John?
I loved it. It was amazing. And that's what more people need to be doing, things like that for themselves, right?
Yes, sir. And actually that's going to be played at the Omni Cultural TV Festival. If you're not doing anything, I'm sure you're busy, but it's a big event with about 1,000-something people at the Egyptian Theater. I'll be hosting the VIP celebrity party after the actual, festival with the NAPTI. And so they're really big with the TV stuff. And if you guys are interested in anything TV, that's another thing that we'll do. If you text Ezway to 55678, we'll see if we can give away some tickets for the Omni Cultural Film Festival. It's a pretty big deal coming up here. And so John, going back to your tour here, Are you looking for any type of help? Are you looking for anything that people can interact and help? Is there anything that we can allow our Ezway community to serve you that much more?
Well, I mean, it depends on what they want to do. We have amazing people that we don't even know about that have tremendous content. So, you know, we're doing 50 cities, and if somebody wants a speaking opportunity, as I said earlier, ask, and you know, let us know what you're going to share. So obviously we don't want a big old pitch fest and some infomercial. We're not allowing anybody selling on stage. You know, we just feel like, you know, that people should come and provide some content, and we'll offer them that opportunity, you know. If people want to come, like I actually had one lady call, or she actually emailed one of our staff members and said, hey, listen, I'm in a bad situation. I lost my job. I'm unemployed. I'm a mother of 4 kids. You know, it just kind of went on and on and on and on. And she said, is there any way, I'm a huge fan of Think and Grow Rich. I just read it, but it's hard for me to read because every time I sit down to read a book, I begin to fall asleep because I'm so exhausted from raising my children.
Anybody out there that does that, I'm right there with you. I hate reading. Give me a video.
She says, yes, but I just feel like is there a possibility that I can get a free ticket from you? And I'm not asking for a free ticket where I just want to get a ticket inside the door, but is there something that I can do to help out to earn my ticket at your event? And so I'm like, see that, now that's different. See, that's awesome. It's not like, just give me what? Just give me. Yes. But you know what? Can I earn my ticket? And I said, yeah, why don't you show up and help with the registration?
There you go.
Right? You know, why don't you help with the ticket as they're stand by the front door and make sure people aren't walking in without wristbands, you know? And she says, okay, all right, whatever. And I'm going to make her do that for a couple hours. And then I'm going to have her go sit and take a seat and do what? And learn. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to have her, because then it doesn't make sense for her to be outside working, yet she's got to be on the inside to learn this content. But see, I just love that. So I'm going to make her maybe help out for an hour or two and then say, now get in there and take some notes and change your life.
I love it. That you know, and so that's another piece of advice, guys. You know, don't ask questions to feel like people don't want to feel used. They don't want to feel like you're trying to get something out of them. But if you make it a win-win, like I always say, John, if it's a win-win, I'm in. That's my statement. If people want, I say a couple of different things. You know, they said, what do? I say, I work for God. I make God smile. If you know, and when it comes to me deciding something, if it's a win-win, I'm in. You know, if you want to pay me a little bit, we do barter trade. You want to pay me up front for the full service, or we do a barter trade that's fair and equal. You know, let's rock and roll. And so, you know, and now, you know, I mean, we have a cool relationship. We're going to make some things happen here, and you know, we got another 5 minutes left for the show, just so you know. So, you know, I appreciate everybody. Jose says, I just noticed I'm in your sizzle video. Yes, you are, Jose. There's a couple more people in. Shout out to everybody that's on here. So guys, we are with John Shin, the Think and Grow Rich Legacy Tour. It's awesome. It's rocking. It's happening. If you guys share this broadcast, you're going to get opportunities to get points to be able to earn some things that me and John are going to do together. We don't even know what it is, but God's going to guide some amazing stuff. It's going to be a blast. And John, just so you know, I want to remind you that this interview, this show, this everything is going to be pushed out to a lot of locations. In fact, 50 million something downloads through My TV to Go, the application, which is built into all the smart TVs already. You know, as well as Women on TV. Shay Vaughn, Vince Vaughn's you know, mother, is a partner of ours. Voice America, I'm sure you're familiar with them. We actually helped start the Influencers channel. And then our Roku channel, which we're building. In fact, I'd love to talk to you more about giving you a vehicle and what you're doing on a smart TV level on Roku and whatnot. We're building a whole influencer program to. I mean, that's all we do, man, is empower influencers to make God smile.
That's awesome.
Thank you, sir. So, and then the veterans thing, Ezway Cares, because you're going to be speaking at our event again, guys, August 30th. He's going to be one of our keynote speakers at the, it's a private country club. I can't tell you where it is yet, but if you get your tickets, you'll find out. And what are you going to be speaking about, John?
At which venue? At all of the venues?
Our Ezway Awards, Dinner Gala, and Ezway Cares Foundation launch.
Oh, gosh. I mean, that's up to you. You guys tell me what you want me to speak about.
Oh, I get to choose?
Tell me whatever you want me to speak about. I mean, I got so much in between these 6 inches. I think I would probably talk for years without looking at my notes.
There it is. Well, so guys, how about this? We're gonna put it out on social media, and we're going to collect what you'd like to hear from John that day, because we'll be shooting live on our Roku channel, and then we'll be putting it on event television on DirecTV and Sony satellite receivers, and just it's going to go everywhere. And so
Sure.
I mean, this is, and you know what I love doing with these interviews and these shows, John, is I think it's one of the best ways. I don't interview people; I get to know them, and I really feel like I got to know you, and we're better friends now. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And so again, guys, I want all the Ezway family to support the Think and Grow Rich tour and what John is doing. And now you've gotten some tidbits, you've gotten some information on how and who and why and where, and I think we got a lot of good stuff. I have people hitting me on Facebook and commenting. People are, how did John build his insurance empire? Okay, so now that the show's over, now you guys are asking questions. Seriously? There's like 5 questions, but so the first one I'm going to choose. So that we'll answer that really quick, John. Then we'll take off. How did you build your insurance empire? And that's from Jose Beltran, WPS Events.
Wow, that's a loaded question. I mean, at what part? I mean, we got our licenses. We got every state does require you to get your license, and what I was passionate about making sure that people were secured financially, whether it's through insurance or making sure their kids go to college. The main thing is I wanted to make sure that people got out of debt, because I think debt is like cancer. And so I was very passionate about the financial world, and when you're that passionate, your passion becomes very contagious to others. And then people started to say, I want to get in business with you. And I hired my first rep to work with me. I remember a guy named Charles, and then we just started growing, and one thing after another. And then one day I had a friend of mine, one of my top guys, actually said, we're getting married. My wife and I are getting married. We have to move to another state. And I said, when you go there, what are you going to do? And he says, well, I'm going to work with this company maybe, or interview with that company. And that kind of bothered me, right? Because I mean, here's a guy that I trained, and now he's going to go work for somebody else. And that's when I said, oh, well, what if I open up an office there with you and make you my partner, and we can work together and open up another office. So again, and so that's when I started to collaborate and start to, really embrace the mastermind principle, right? So it wasn't just me operating an office somewhere else. And before you know it, now I think we've got, almost 100 offices throughout the United States.
I love it, John. So, thank you for answering that. And I'm sorry, guys, we don't have enough time for any other questions, but I'd love to have you back, man. We need to do part 2 and part 3 and part 4 and part 5 and part 6. And we could build a whole book and a movie on what you got going on. So I really appreciate your time, man. And this has been a blast. So before we go, do you want to say anything in particular to your fans or friends or family?
I just want to add one thing, because we started off the call this morning and we talked about veterans. And so the one thing I realized that we didn't have a special ticket price for any veterans or veteran spouses, right? So if somebody is a veteran or their husband and or wife is on active duty, if they can show us, we're actually going to do a ticket. We're going to do a ticket price. We're going to put it up right now for veterans and or veteran or active duty spouses, who's because it's amazing. People don't realize that so many veteran, people in the services right now, that are getting deployed somewhere. The other spouse is sitting at home for 6, 9, 10, 12 months, raising their family on their own. Yeah. And they're trying to figure out, how can I make money or start a business? And it's sad because they don't have the resources and tools. So we'd love to honor the student ticket price at $69 to any of the veterans and or a spouse of some active duty member. So awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, well, we'll put that. If you're a veteran, and so they got to just pull out their little veteran card and show that they're okay. Got it. Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome of you, John. And again, we're Ezway Promotions is there to support you, the Ezway family. And stay tuned, guys, because we're going to be putting it all over social media. John is now officially dubbed Ezway Network Influencer. He's part of the family, Ezway Wall of Fame. And so, without further ado, before I let you go, John, I can't let you get away without doing this to you, man. I'm sorry, but I have to try this out here. And so we're going to go ahead and see John's best moves as we end the show. I'm going to play some music here. We're going to rock with the Ezway theme song.
And you can't say no, John. So let's see some of your best moves as we end Easy Talk Live. We woke up the easy way. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And please don't forget to share this broadcast. Sharing is caring. And without further ado, John's best moves. Go, John. It's your birthday. Yeah. To the theme. Woo! All right.
Everybody stand up for easy, working hard in Hollywood. Got many celebrities ready on deck. Cali love, that's what's good. We doing work the easy way. What can I say? Carolina, yeah, to California, yeah. Making moves, red carpets and major interviews. About to pop, ready and now we never lose. Never stop and never play, we go getters. Never play, just rolling the easy way. Life is hard, that's why I roll it easy way. Life is hard, that's why I roll it.